Welcome. This is Barry Jones from the Angel School, and we're here for our weekly angel reading for August the 7th through the 13th, 2017. So let's just take a moment to take a deep breath, to allow ourselves to align with the connection of our sacred heart and to really be aware of the intuitive guidance that is surrounding you and that is flowing from within. And so the angels invite you to enter this portal of love, of divine love, and to allow or to imagine, as they're showing me, sort of a waterfall. And waterfalls are a symbol of abundance, and it could be an influx of new opportunities, rewards, finances. And in this case, I'm getting a sense that it's also connected to your intuition. And so they just want you to just sort of allow yourself to just be immersed in this pouring of love, pouring of guidance, pouring of sort of connection and connectedness. It's a sense of you being immersed in a sense of knowing. I don't know why I'm getting this, but it's just a sense of knowing. And the word trust sort of comes up for me vibrationally. I just kind of feel this word of trusting your inner knowing and being very much aware of that inner knowing. And they're showing me something that sort of looks like the sort of, I don't know the name of it, the medical, with the two wings and the snakes. But, and I get a sense that it's something about healing. Now, I don't know if it could be for some of you that there's some new healing information coming through for you in terms of your healing abilities, or that you may find that you're sort of guided towards some new healing modalities. Also, this is also something about self-care for yourself, that in this week you may need to do some healing work for yourself in terms of self-care. And they say that this is going to be very, very important for your manifestation work. So I know you're probably thinking to yourself, well, I got a lot of things to get done. And this is like the second week of them bringing up self-care. So you got to understand that self-care is very important to the health of your goals, of the things that you're trying to manifest. This is very important. And God is coming through. And when God comes through, he's writing out the word help. And he's showing me a cross. So basically, when God comes through, whenever I see his name, it means that something has already been handled. So there is some challenge or something you've been dealing with, that you've been struggling with, and it's already taken care of. The only thing that you need to do so that can sort of blossom, so that abundance can become a reality, is that you have to take care of yourself now. You have to know, and that means you have to pay attention to when you're feeling vulnerable, when you're feeling like extra sensitive, and you really need more personal space so that you can sort of balance or maintain your alignment. So don't be afraid to sort of, you know, it's sort of, they're showing me sort of a bra, and you know, the female breast is about nurturing yourself. For me, that's how it comes through for me intuitively. When I see a bra, it means, in this context, it can mean guarding yourself or shielding, but in this context, it can mean someone is guarded or shielded. But in this context, it means that you need to shield, and that in this sense, You could use light and energy and things like this sort, but it's about just being discerning. Is our discernment is a tool of for us, the way that we can shield ourselves, and meaning to preserve our boundaries, to preserve our soul's integrity, to preserve that love. And so what you need to do in this week is be very discerning as a tool of self-care and shielding yourself from, places, environments, or energy of other people. So discern if this is the right situation for you, or if this is the right group of people for you, and they're really writing that out. So it really has something to do with a group of people, okay, that's probably been causing you a lot of stress or making things a little difficult, more than they need to be, and things are maybe a little complicated. When you run into a lot of complications and confusion, it means that you're not discerning. And so maybe this is a new definition of shielding. You're not discerning what's what's appropriate for you in that moment. They're showing me like a fish on a stick, and that's kind of interesting, because it's almost not ever done. It sort of gives me a sense of something commercial, in the sense that it's about the intuition, and it's sort of a inappropriate or abusive way of, or you're just, it's something of, it's a form of self-abuse when you don't, and it sounds a little harsh, when you don't use your intuition, when you kind of ignore it. You make yourself easily sort of caught, maybe, the fish on the stick thing. You know you kind of stick yourself, so to speak, by not always being aware of of your environment, of being discerning. Is sort of sticking yourself. So they want you to, in this week, it's really important that you pay attention to what's going on around you, and what is the response from your soul. Your soul is not judging anything. It's just letting you know what doesn't align with you, and that won't bring the best results that you're looking for, or that won't allow you to feel the best version of yourself. Won't allow you to be at peace, or to express or experience a sense of freedom. Won't align you with being able to live and walk and talk in your truth. So they really want, and they're also adding that it won't allow you to blossom. And so it's very important in this week, this kind of self-care, this kind of nurturing, this kind of discernment, paying attention, and not judging. We're not judging. It doesn't mean, it shouldn't mean anything to you when you discern that this is not the right environment or the right group of people. You shouldn't investigate it any further, because that's when it does turn into judgment. All you need to know is that your soul is giving you this signal, and what your soul is trying to do is guide you through to the path of least resistance, so that you can enjoy your process. Your soul is not making comments. It doesn't take digs or at people and situations. It doesn't do that. It's just discerning the best path for you. And the only way it can alert you to this is through the emotional guidance system. And when something slightly feels off, or it feels somewhat good, or there's an anticipation, that's how it guides you. So you're always supposed to go with what's good, what's better, anything that alleviates resistance is where you need to take that step. And when you think about, if you just focus in this way, it opens up a whole new perspective. It simplifies everything. And it's so easy to stay in the moment when you're just looking for, if you are in a state of resistance, then you're looking for the best relief that's available to you and to pursue that. Don't get stuck in your mind and get stuck in the logic of your agendas and your deadlines and neglect this angelic support. Okay? And, again, God keeps writing his name. So there's something that God is especially coming through to, and he wrote out the word fresh or sort of refresh. He's trying to help you. He's personally coming through and stepping in to help you. So you can expect, as I keep writing out number 4, which means angels are supporting you, but I'm also getting a sense of you can expect stability, okay, and more assurance, more assurances. As assurance means the number 7 means in angel numbers you're on the right path, on the mark, you're on the right path or the right mark. But I get a sense that God is creating stability and assurances with these 2 numbers is what he's saying to me. So really take into consideration what comes to you, okay, is really the strongest support that you can get, the greatest help you can receive here. And God wrote laugh. So, it gives me a sense about plans that we make. We heard that expression, we make plans, God laughs. So don't get so stuck, okay? Don't become rigid. Don't obsess about details and plans unfolding as you are expecting them or as you had imagined them. This is a time where you need to be really open. You need to be open to, in terms of networking, there may be people or help coming from places or resources that you weren't expecting. Now, if you're not judging, but you're discerning and you feel that better or that joy, is the right, not the word joy, from something that you just weren't expecting, don't limit it because you are looking at it through the lens where you have this tunnel vision. And so therefore this doesn't come up on your radar, and when somebody tries to place it there, you feel as though they're shoving it there and you reject it. And what you end up doing is that you end up misreading the intention, and your ego creates panics and projects something else onto it, another objective, and then strikes back. So don't do that, okay? I see the word incompatible, and so you may judge something as being incompatible right away. And what I'm getting the sense is that this would be a mistake. I'm seeing the word projects. So this may have to do specifically, more specifically for some of you, with projects that you may feel are incompatible with you, but they aren't. So give it a little time, discern, okay? Don't judge it so quickly, okay? And they're writing out the word implementation. So this may be something that what you're resisting is the implementation, or maybe the way it's being implemented. So don't get stuck in those are details, okay? Try to always pray for clarity. They're writing out the word augment. So this is somehow going to increase opportunities for you. You can, and also I'm getting a sense that you can also, there's a room, some leeway here about how you can implement the project. So that's why you don't want to close your mind off to it right away, because just because it's being presented a certain way doesn't mean that there isn't room for discussion, for your ideas. So very much stay open. Um, you know, be very connected to the energy of opportunity, of rewards, the ways that this can um, provide for others, or you know, this sort of thing. I don't know why the right not word guilty, but an integrity. But don't allow something within yourself. Um, maybe there was a moment where you weren't in integrity, you weren't acting out of integrity. Put that aside. Like, I feel like that action causes you to sort of feel like you need to sort of squash your voice or hold back or not speak out. Um, if you can't trust you, then you can't expect people to trust you. So, and if something you've ever done that was out of integrity and you've grown, then you have to let go of this guilt, because the guilt is what's holding the memory for everyone, including yourself. It's holding the energy, which is like a memory. And once you can let it go, then you will be actually in integrity. To feel guilty is to be out of alignment, which is not the integrity of your soul. It does not possess the idea of guilt. So you, by holding it against yourself, you are acting even further out of integrity. Did I say that right? Because sometimes words get. But I think you get what I'm trying to say. So you're being even more acting out of integrity by doing things like that, by feeling ashamed and by feeling guilty, and you know, holding anger against yourself and another, or judgment. This is all out of integrity with your soul's alignment. And they write not the word fertility, but they wrote infertility. So, it's sort of like, this is what stops, this is what creates, or what seems to you, this feeling of lack, where you don't have any creativity, nothing's flowing, you know, you can't figure out how things are going to happen. You can't make ends meet. So you really have to let go of this. So if something pops up to you and shows you how you've been holding this guilt, now it may just come up that you just feel guilty or you feel ashamed about something. If it comes up, this is not coming up to beat you down again, but it's coming up because you need to let this go. And if you can at first, just be so happy that it showed itself and that you were able to recognize it rather than acting upon it and getting stuck in it and swimming around in it and getting yourself caught on that stick. So, don't roast yourself, all right? Don't do that to yourself. All right, so let's take a look at the card for the theme of the week, the Archangel Oracle card. And we have the Archangel Michael card, and we haven't had this in a very, very, very long time. And this is one of the messages that I was also seeing, was the word safe, as when I was meditating. So this is Archangel Michael coming through with his shield and his sword of fire. And he uses that sword of light to sever you from any negative or thoughts or darkness, like guilt. I mean, when you go into that space of guilt, it's so heavy, it's so dark, it just pulls us down. You start thinking all sorts of really awful things about yourself. You take things personally. You take rejection personally. You start thinking all sorts of things about yourself, and you start looking at you start seeing yourself as this ugly monster. And it's incredible how we can go there and believe these things about ourselves. And so this is why we need to use our shields. We need to discern the truth. And the whole while you're telling yourself, you know, that these things that aren't real or aren't true about you that aren't true about your soul, you don't feel good. That's part of the shield right there. The things that don't feel good to us is because they're not in integrity or in alignment with our soul. They are not true to who you are, how you were made in the image of God. Remember, you and I don't have the power to change the Creator. You don't have, I love this about the Course in Miracles when they were talking about the idea of sin as if we have the right to make a permanent mark or a change to God or the divine itself. We were created by it. We're extensions of Source. We don't ever have the power to alter the Source, God. So therefore, that idea of sin that we seem to hold on to is like we've done something, anything that's bad enough, that means we make mistakes, and there are consequences in our universe for our mistakes, but we are not committing, as the Course in Miracles defines it, sin, which would be to be able to alter the energetic makeup or frequency of God. That you and I don't have the power to do. It's why you and I need to forgive ourselves. God's love is automatic. There's no negotiating terms or lessening that favor based on your actions. What comes to us is what we attract, because the vibration that we're offering is what yields to us the feedback that we experience. But that's sort of a technology that's set up by God's design in the universe so that we can experience what we're creating and be able to then make the choices and decisions about how we want to correct or to improve upon or to expand upon, depending on what it is. But nothing changes within us that is God, and nothing changes about God. So therefore, there is no sin in this definition, which is beautiful, because now you don't need to worry about what God's thinking, because there's only one thought coming from Him: I love you. What you need to think about is what you're thinking and the suffering that that's causing and creating for you. This is a really important message, as I'm seeing a mailbox here, that God really wants you to hear. Because so many of us, He's writing out the word challenge. All of our challenges hinge upon this belief. All that negative talk is coming because you feel like there's something wrong, like permanently wrong within you. Something, and that mark, that wrongness cannot exist from within your soul, because it is all pure well-being and abundance. This is something you're trying to place on top of it, and it doesn't sit well, does it? It's like trying to put something on top of. It's like, I don't know why I'm thinking of this, but it's like maybe trying to saddle a horse and or putting something on top of something else, and it just doesn't fit. It just won't stay on. It's because it's not true. It's not in integrity with your soul. So don't try to make it fit. Don't try to make yourself fit to this negative belief you have. That's why you become even more miserable, because the deeper you bury it within yourself, the louder the cry of your soul, you know, Hosanna, blessed be the name of the Lord. You know, something like this, just shouting out the goodness of God, because the goodness of God is what you're made from, and it will never let you believe or hold, be able to cling to anything else. It's like if it's like a pole and you're trying to it's a slippery pole. Negativity is like you can't grab, you can't find a grab, because you can't cling to a lie in this universe. This is sort of a safe uh, proof that you can never ever really be what you are not. You can work very hard at it, but you're not going to have any fun. So you are safe. You're safe, and you need to know that. And the answers are there through the discernment, is what the message here is. And Archangel Michael says, I am protecting you against lower energies and guarding you, your loved ones, and home. And it's almost like I heard something, but it's gone. But just don't worry about bad things, okay? Yes, they happen, but remember, we're attracting them, and but they're helping us. The contrast is helping us to make choices. Don't 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 be afraid of the variety. The variety is what makes the universe as beautiful and wonderful, and it's inspiring. It's our chemistry lab, you know, and as creators, we have all the tools to help us discover other tools. And so, you know, we have to bless the variety instead of calling it evil or good. Just bless the variety and live and make the choices that you're happy to live with. All right, let's take a look at the. We've gone way over. Let's take a look at the card for the beginning of the week. And we have the wheel. So we had this card a few weeks ago in the same position. So this means that things are going to be rolling in a positive, favorable path this week. The opportunities are there. So it's all about how you can just really step in and step into those opportunities without resisting them. So, you know, it's sort of like go with the flow of how the wheel turns and see where it takes you this week. And I'm getting this sort of feeling about having this sort of attitude this week where you're just going to be open. You're going to just see where life is going, where it's how it's unfolding, and see what it's offering you first. And then once you get to that sort of end objective, or you see the picture that is being presented, then you can make a decision about how this fits into your life. But don't exclude it until you see it through. I know that's a sort of a different message for this card, but it's really what I'm feeling about it. Now the card says delays are over. It says sudden or unexpected good luck, a new car or travel. So, the unexpected things. So be very open is what resonates with me in that message. Be open to things that come that are unexpected for you. Okay, I'm also, you know, just looking at this card. This is like sort of a wheel, where like a spinning wheel. So, you know, be very open to creativity that comes through. Maybe some blocks in your creativity are you're going to move past them, or maybe you're going to move past some of the things that you've been sort of worried about, whether it's finances or, you know, new opportunities, but you've been feeling guilty and feeling like you're not, you know, adequate enough, or you couldn't figure out how you're going to make a transition of some sort. So this could also have to do with some kind of transition that could mean a move or a promotion. And so maybe some answers are going to come through for you in this week. Okay, I'm sort of seeing the word liberty, so sort of like um, and I saw the word birth. So there's one context meaning, um, to just allow yourself to a little bit of freedom here in your life. Be a little bit more open and take some chances. Um, uh, a possibility of, for some of you, a new opportunity. It could be a message to someone about a birth that they've been waiting for or hoping for and praying for, and maybe something kind of unfolds or breaks through, and you get good news about that. Um, I'm also getting a sense of I'm seeing lungs for some reason. So I don't know if maybe if there's a feeling of someone a diagnosis, and maybe it's going to be better or it's clear. The word liberty, that it's clear. Okay, what you're going to get back, because they were mentioning some health things in the beginning. All right, let's take a look at the card for the middle of the week. All right, and we have the Three of Winter, which is usually the Three of Swords, and this card will indicate, it says, reach out to others for comfort and love. You will grow stronger from this situation, sadness that will heal with time. So this is usually a card where we see three swords through a heart. And for me, since this is about communication, and the swords are about the mind, this is always about, for me, letting things get in the way of your heart's objective. So, allowing things to cloud your judgment, to cloud your objective in this sense. Interesting. I haven't thought about it specifically that way, but that's even better. It's sort of like you have these these things you're focused on, mental things. It could be criticism, or it could be coming from other people, and that it's getting in the way of what your heart desires, and you can't allow something to sort of distract that focus. So this card reminds us of the time that we need to heal, we need to forgive, and this goes back to that whole guilt thing that we were talking about. So this just sort of punctuates that message from before, that you need to heal the things, that these beliefs about yourself, because they're blocking that wheel from turning. It's interesting that it comes right after the wheel card. So this is going to be something for you to work on this week, to not let how you feel, the injustice of this. It really is an injustice that you, a divine spirit of God, an extension of God, would feel this way, and let that block all the blessings that you would have, all the opportunities that would be there for you. So forgive yourself for whatever it is that you think you've done. Let it go. And I know it's not easy to let things go, but it's if you start implementing any aspect of your dreams, they begin to make you feel good. And they begin that healing. They start to show to you who you really are. The act of being creative, or beginning something that you're passionate about, is one way of healing your heart and elevating your vibration, so that you have more clarity to see who you truly are, how divine you really are. You just, and think about it, because we've all had when we are at our best, we've all experienced the best version of ourselves through our creative desires and our passions. And that, even those few moments, if you want to argue that that's all you've had, indicates that you have reached or made that connection with the divine. If you can reach it once, then it proves how divine you truly are. So I don't care if it's one time, and everybody's had one at least, but many, many more than that. So allow yourself to go with the greater part of you, and leave that other behind. All right, let's take a look at the card for the end of the week. All right, and we have the Five of Summer. So this card says, trust that there's a reason for everything that happens. Remove yourself from the negative emotions of others. Remember that? Focus on that which you're focusing on that which frightens or worries you. Okay. So this is about, I'm getting from this with this card in the context of what has already been said. It's interesting. These two cards have punctuated what was said in the earlier message. So about discerning the right people, about be more discerning about relationships. Now, this could be particular at the end of the week, but I'm getting a sense that look at the fairy on this card. It's like she's trying to flee, and she's don't be afraid of the negative energy, sort of with this darkness over here. She's running towards the light, but but run towards the light. Just don't run away from the darkness, because it almost, by doing that, it's like you admit that you have done something wrong, or you've done something. Let's put it this way, because we can do things that are wrong or that are incorrect. But when you run away from something, it means that you have done something that's unforgivable. Wow, and that's never true. You can never do anything that's unforgivable. And I know many of us could probably sit around here and want to debate what that could be. But from God's perspective, which is with the image that we're created in, you can never do anything that's unforgivable. So you see, the message this week is to forgive yourself, to heal, and so that, and to move so that you can move forward. So if we look at how these cards are laid out here, we have blocks in front of us, in front of this wheel that is really wanting to move through and bring it through some really new, some fresh opportunities for you, going back to what God said before, fresh insights. You've been praying for insights of clarity. You've been praying for money, or whatever it is you've been praying for, excuse me. And what's blocking you is these thoughts. They are contradicting your heart, and in relationships, that you're not being discerning enough about relationships. Because if you're hanging around with people who are kind and nice, but they're very negative, then how do you think you're going to look at yourself? So one of my cousins who passed, 48 years old, and in the 90s, late 90s, and I got to know her briefly in this 2 weeks we went on a cruise, and she said this, and I've never forgotten it. She said, "You will rise or fall to the level of the company you keep." And she was a professor of economics at Shaw University, and those words changed my life in those 2 weeks that we spent together with my family traveling on our family reunion cruise. But it just something, just the world stood still for me in that interaction, and it was really sad. It was impacted by her passing, because I had never got to see her often throughout the years that she was alive, but she left that legacy for me to always remember. And so be discerning, and run towards the light, but not because you're running away from something you believe is unforgivable. Okay? All right, let's take a look at the card I already pulled from the bottom of the deck, and let's see what the underlying message is. And this is a wonderful card. So you have two major arcana cards here, and this card is underlining the entire week's energy, and this is the Star card, and the Star card is the most positive card probably in the entire deck. There's nothing negative about it, no matter how you spin it. So this card means you can look. It says, "Look to the future with hope and optimism. The power of truth to move mountains. Happy changes that bring relief from challenging times." So this is a card about um, that refresh, that reboot. Okay, usually you see how she's opening up this locket. She found this locket, and all this light just pours out of it. So there is this opportunity for this boost of faith, of optimism, of opportunities, new messages coming to you, just really being insightful, inspired. So allow yourself to be really open to the opportunities that are underlying throughout the week. Don't judge what's happening. Don't judge the contrast. Just be open to what it's revealing to you. That's the sense I'm getting. Be open to what the contrast is revealing to you in this week. And know that you are safe, that all is well. That's the message that we've been getting for the last 2 weeks from Archangel Michael, that all is well. And now we have you are safe. So God bless you all and have a beautiful week. I thank you all for your comments here on YouTube and on the Facebook page. If you haven't gone to the Facebook page yet, you can click on the link in the description box below to follow us there Monday through Friday. If you're looking for an angel reading, you can go to my website, theangelschool.com, on the services page, and you can choose the reading that you would like. There is a first time promotional hour reading there for you to choose from if it's your first time. If you would like to work on your own intuitive awareness, or learning how to read tarot cards, or there's some things you want to work on in your life, there's the Divine Roadmap coachings. There are about 10 sessions, and one is free if you sign up for all of them at the same time, or you can do them in installments before we begin. I find that if you don't do all of it, pay for it however you do it before, then you're less likely to not commit. So, and this is something you don't want to begin and then just drop. So look into that if that resonates with you. So I send you all lots of love and angel blessings. Have a beautiful week, and God bless you.